Volkswagen performance enthusiasts are always going to be a tough bunch to please, and I can say that because, well, I am one. I own my own classic Lupo GTi.
How's bragging camp going?
So when Volkswagen announced that they were bringing out a performance variant of their ID electric cars, it was always going to ruffle a few feathers. But I think Volkswagen made the right choice of not going with the classic GTi badge and bringing out something altogether very new for the electric cars, the GTX. Hi Electroheads, I'm Tish and welcome back to the channel, and behind me is the ID.4 GTX. In today's video, I'm going to be answering your questions that you submitted about this car. But before that, what do you mean you're not subscribed to the channel? Come on, make sure you hit that subscribe button, subscribe to Electroheads, and then head over to Instagram and find us on there as well. So before we jump into the questions, let's talk about the exterior of the ID.4 GTX. Just like the petrol performance cars, Volkswagen have chosen to keep the exterior design changes subtle. Up front, there's a new GTX specific bumper, which gets gloss black air inserts that themselves have extra LED lights, creating a new lighting signature. Down the sides, there are some more prominent side skirts, while protecting strips on the doors are now body coloured. The roof is painted a contrasting black, as is the rear spoiler, while the new bumper gets a diffuser insert, painted in contrasting dark grey. Top of all that, there's 20-inch alloy wheels and King's red metallic paint on my test car, plus a small scattering of subtle GTX badges, and you have an ID.4 that definitely, but still rather quietly, stands out from its siblings. So the first question comes from one of our American viewers because it says, height of the trunk from the ground. Right, now I was actually supposed to pack my tape measure, but I forgot. But you could say that the boot is exactly 1 tish from tip to toe in length. And if you don't really know what that is, then what I'll do is I'll get Editor Will to actually put the height in after. And the boot is absolutely massive. I don't normally do this, but we're gonna get in it.
12 seconds later.
It is absolutely massive back here. You'll find 543 litres, plus there's some underfloor boot storage to put your cables. This is a great boot for families. And that moves me on to my next question. So how does its bulky size compare to the EV6 and Ioniq 5? Practicality, visually, and from a driving perspective? Well, for a starter, the boot on the Ioniq 5 gets 527 litres, so the ID.4 GTX offers a little bit more. One disappointing thing, however, is that the ID.4 GTX doesn't get an electric boot as standard, which is quite a shame considering it's so large and bulky. The size is actually just under 4.6 metres in length, which is actually shorter than the Ioniq 5. It's also slightly narrower, which is surprising to me, but probably because of the ID.4 GTX is slightly bulky figure. If you often need to carry tall rear seat passengers, the ID.4 is a great choice. Indeed, it's roomier in the back than the Tesla Model 3. There isn't as much legroom as in the Ioniq 5 or the Kia EV6, but there is more headroom, and the ID.4 offers more upright, comfortable seating position. You get a couple of pockets for maps and mobile phones on the back of the front seats, and there's also 2 rear cup holders in the centre armrest, and 2 usable door bins. The next question has come from a fellow GTi enthusiast, I can tell, because it says, can one option Clark plaid tartan seats? Now it's classic of Volkswagen GTIs to have tartan Jaccara seats, but unfortunately the GTX doesn't have any of those. But then again, Volkswagen don't want this to be a GTI, it's its new product. But I just feel that the GTX seats are a little bit boring. They're finished in that deep blue with the GTX embossed on them, and then you've got some red stitching down the sides. They're just a little bit boring. Strangely, if you opt for the upgraded velour seats, you actually lose any GTX branding. Elsewhere in the cabin, the GTX comes with some stainless steel pedals, a sports steering wheel, along with 30 colour ambient lighting, and the same 5.3-inch digital driver's display and 10-inch touchscreen with voice control you'll find in the regular ID.4 as well. Just like the regular ID.4, quality is something to be desired.
Oh, that is bang out of order.
With lots of gloss black, which is a magnet for fingerprints and dust, and hard plastics. At least it features a leather dashboard, but it's left me scratching my head as to why blue leather was signed off as a good choice.
That's ridiculous!
One of the most popular questions in the comments was, of course, about the infotainment system. So it says, has the infotainment unit responsiveness improved since it was introduced on the ID.3? Now, as far as I'm aware, there's been no major changes to this system, but since I've been spending some time with it, the responsiveness has been really good. All of my inputs are reacted really quickly to it. But this may be because the ID products get over-the-air updates, and that means it's constantly improving and changing, and there's no need to go into the branch either. You can do it from your Wi-Fi sitting at your house, which is really great. There is actually an imminent change coming for spring 2022, and that involves things like some changes to the satellite navigation and also the head-up display. So basically, the longer that you have your ID product, the better and better it gets. Next up is one of the first things I check with any new car, and that's, is it compatible with Apple Carplay and Android Auto? And the answer is absolutely yes. So you can either plug it in using one of the two USB-C charging ports, and that will automatically bring your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto up on the screen. Or if you didn't have a cable, or you wanted to take advantage of the wireless charging pad, then this is actually wireless as well. But what I do like is it gives you the option. So when you first plug it in, it says, do you want to use this wirelessly or via the cable? And that gives you the option to, as soon as you unplug it, it's no longer connected, which is always my choice. My body, my choice. There is no doubt about it, the ID.4 GTX has some tough competition, but somebody has asked, how does it compare to the Model Y? Well, the entry-level GTX that I've actually been driving will set you back £50,540 for this model. If you go for the Tesla Model Y, it's going to set you back £54,990, so quite a bit more money. The Tesla does, however, get 30 more miles of range compared to the GTX, and it's likely that that range is probably going to be more usable as well. So the 0 to 62 times, the Tesla is also 1.4 seconds faster than the ID.4 GTX. And when it comes to charging, the Tesla can accept a rate of up to 210 kilowatts. Now the ID.4 GTX used to be 125 kilowatts, but that recent software update has brought it up to 135, but it's still reasonably behind the Tesla. Is it getting a bit hot in here? So there we have it. Thank you so much to everybody that submitted a question about the ID.4 GTX. If you still had any more unanswered questions or queries, then pop them down below and I'll try to answer as many as I can in the comments. If you have enjoyed this video today, let us know. Give it a thumbs up, and do you think the GTX deserves to wear the badge? Pop it in the comments down below. If you never want to miss a video from me or all the rest of the team at Electroheads, then make sure you subscribe to the channel. Until next time guys, see you later.